Okay, so we've got second coats on everything. Hello crafty family, welcome to part 2 of whatever this is. Making fun papers? I don't know, making fun things. I think this looks cool. This is the one that we did on the deli paper. This is deli paper, right? Yeah, this is the deli paper with the gloss medium. Interesting effect. Isn't that kind of cool? Different, right? And here is the matte Mod Podge, which is going to be difficult. Because remember I said it stuck the last time. So you just got to be gentle. And you might have some ripping. Yep, we're ripping. We're ripping. So I would definitely do this one. If you're going to use tissue paper, do it on a silicone mat. Or you're going to have some possible ripping. The deli paper did fine. It's just this tissue paper, I guess. The wax paper adhered. Oops. I don't know. What are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? You live and you learn. That's okay. Like the wax paper is totally ripping with it. There we go. There we go. Good old crinkly paper. This would be cool in a journal. You know? So that's the wax paper. We can get rid of that. Get that out of the way. Okay. So cool. We got these two. Now this would work as like a journal page. A nice crinkly journal page. This one, it might, but it's sticky. Remember I told you the stuff is sticky, so if you put it together, it's gonna stick. And the longer it stays together, the longer it sticks. So the gloss medium, it has its benefits, I guess, but it's sticky. So if you're gonna use that, it's gonna be stickable. So you might wanna put some matte Mod Podge over top of it or something. I don't know. Maybe not use gloss medium. Alright, so on top of that, then we've got the fabulous paint, and the fabulous paint on the, that came out really cool. And again, you can use this as a journal page. You can cut things out with it. I think we might cut some die cuts out with it. That would be kind of cool. Have these glossy die cuts. You can use it on this side if you want, if you don't like the glossy side. But I kind of like the glossy side. That's kind of groovy. And then we've got this. And this, we just start peeling off. This is kind of fun to peel off. It's like peeling off glue off your skin. I might have done it a little thin. I probably, if I did it again, I'd probably do it, leave the paint a little thicker, but I spread it out a little too much, I think. I don't know. I don't know about the middle. Let me get to the middle. And honestly, I don't even know what you can do with this. You can use it as texture. You want to be careful not to let it go on itself. Oh, it ripped right here. And it's dry, so I don't know why that ripped. Maybe this under part wasn't dry very well. I don't know. Doesn't feel that dry, but it's been a couple days. So, and it's like dry. So let's see. Just gotta be careful pulling it up, that's all. Interesting. first one I did, it might be the paint that I used. Because the first one I did didn't have any wet spots after a day. Or any sticky parts. It must be just that one part on the back. It's a little sticky. But what you could do is, if you have a sticky part or something, you could turn it over and like see how the edges are sticking together because they're so thin. So it's hard. You got to keep it straight unless you don't care about the edges, which I don't really care about the edges because they're so thin. So I'm not really that concerned with it. It's more the middle part, but it is awfully thin. I probably should have done it a lot thicker. I definitely should have done it thicker. The first one I did was much thicker than this one. See how thin this one is? But it's still kind of cool. I'll put it between some wax paper to store it. But what's cool is, you know, you could just take a piece of it off, like cut a piece off, and collage it onto something, you know, just take a piece and collage it onto something and you have, you know, something kind of cool, just different. I don't know, you could easily paint it, I get it. The other one's cooler, like I said, because it's thicker, and this one's not as thick, so maybe it's not as cool, I don't know. But let me get out my little cards here and grab a card and see about how it is to collage some of this on there, right? That would just be interesting, in my opinion. I don't know. And you can kind of crinkle it up and get all kinds of texture. Let's see what kind of texture we can get with this. Let's get some Mod Podge. I like how that puckered right there like that. Oh, I should have cleaned my paint water. I didn't clean it. Oops. Oopsie. But what's cool is, because a paint is acrylic, and so is, you know, and it goes well with, I think PVA is an acrylic blend. So you can just glue this on and it's going to hold. But what's cool is, this is an effect you can't get with paint. You can't get that kind of puckering with regular paint, with just painting something. That's kind of groovy. Kind of groovy. And then you could just paint over the top and let it dry. And you get this weird paint effect. I'm sure we can find uses for that. That's kind of cool. So I'll do that one. I'm just playing right now. We're just messing around, just kind of experimenting and seeing what we can do with things. No rhyme or reason. And then you got like this. You can either use pieces of it to collage with, or you can use pieces to collage with it, or you can die cut it. I wouldn't recommend die cutting the paint one because it's too, unless you do it real thick. See, I don't want to put the glue on top because I don't want to dull off the plastic that's on there. But if you just put enough glue, just another thing to collage with. Kind of cool. And this, like I said, you could definitely die cut this. And like I said also, if you put the glitter down first, you can see the glitter in here, but it's not as prominent as if you put the glitter down first, which I didn't do. So that's kind of cool. And you can move to another color. Kind of cool. And got those cool kind of glossy pieces on there. The paint water is so disgusting. And let's see, can you punch it out? Let me see if I can punch it out. If I can get it to hold still. Nope, can't punch it out. Nope, it won't punch. Not with that punch anyway. That's also a very dull punch, but I don't know if another punch will work, but it might not work through the plastic. It might not even be the paint part. It's probably the plastic. So punching, it's not good, but I know you could die cut this stuff because I have done that before. I've die cut the paint and plastic. So there's a couple collages of interesting textures. So those are a couple things you could do with that. And then you could take these suckers and you can stamp on them and collage them as well. So we don't have to finish these, but these are a start to something. I can add more to it later. My desk is getting quite full here. And you know how it is. My desk is too small. But we could take a stamp of some sort. Just give me a minute because I've got all kinds of stuff falling down by my legs over here that I can't seem to escape from. To move out of the way enough to get a stamp. Ouch. Okay, I've got this stamp here. And what I'm thinking of doing before I stamp it I might play around with some of my inks and see what happens. Let's take some ink and just do that. That's oxide. I don't want oxide right now. I just want regular distress ink. I'm just using regular distress ink right now. And then I'm taking a brush and I am spreading that out. That's pretty cool. It makes the paper all glass-like and such. That's kind of cool. Let's put some more blue on there. That's kind of cool. Let me heat set that for a second. I wonder what the oxide would look like if I put some of that on top of it. Let's play around and find out, shall we? We'll just spread that around with our finger. Now that's more opaque, so it's not going to look as see-through-y as the regular distress ink, but we're just playing, experimenting. I don't know, I guess the distress looks better. Yeah, I think the distress looks better than the oxide on it, but it still gives it a kind of cool look. Let's see what else I got. I got some, we'll put distress on here again. Put some of that. And put some of that. And we will. do some cool things with that. Yeah, I like the distress ink the best on that. Which I probably should have something white underneath of it rather than this zebra print, which is probably a pain in the butt, but if you could see better how cool that looks. So I'm going to take some StazOn in black, and I'm going to stamp a peacock. Oh my god. It's a seahorse, not a peacock. We're going to stamp the seahorse. We're going to stamp the seahorse right there. Hopefully I get a good impression. There we go. Very cool. I gotta move that out of the way because I need to cut that out. Fussy cutting. Let's do some fussy cutting. Yeah. I just made the fussy cutting jingle. Fussy cutting. That's what we do. Fussy cutting. It's better than smelling poo. How do you like that? Now that was some lyrical magic. Okay. It's all fussy cutted. Look how pretty it looks. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I like that. I like stamping the images after I painted with distress inks. Now that's something cool to do. And then you can just like put this on something. I don't know. You can just do whatever with it. Glue it to something or something. I think it's cute. I like it. So that's something you can do with those papers, is color them with distress inks and a little water. Even the oxides though. Even the oxides. Although I did say, don't forget this gel medium makes it very sticky. So you might be able to fix that if you have an embossing buddy. You might be able to go across it with the embossing buddy and get rid of the stick. It's very possible because, yeah, that did help a bit. Yeah. Now it's not as sticky. So you could do that if you're going to use gloss medium. But you might be better off just using Mod Podge, because there's no stick to this. It's not sticky. And it'll do the same thing. We can take some, let's see, what colors have we got in here? The good old peacock feathers. And the picked raspberry, because I like these colors. And some water. Got a thing stuck to my... See? See? You can get the color on there. I may need to add a little more. I think I sprayed too much water on it. Sprayed too much water. Too much water. Get that pink going there. Get that pink going. Cool business. And then you can print, you can stamp some things out. Just like that. And you can do the same thing with this crinkly mess. Except this is not as translucent, but I bet you it would take some color just as well. Oh yeah. This is the Mod Podge on tissue. Remember what I told you about that? You add a little liquid to it and it kind of reincorporates, so just be careful about that with the tissue. It doesn't do that, it reincorporates the tissue and makes the tissue pliable again when you wet it. It doesn't do that with the deli paper. It only does that with the tissue paper. So just be careful of that. You could still do it, just be careful. It'll take a lot more color because it's going back to tissue and it's absorbing it. But it kind of looks cool. And then you dry it. See, like it'll rip a little bit. You gotta be careful. I think the magic combo is deli paper and Mod Podge. I think that's the good, that's this one, and I think this is a great combo because it's sturdy and it still takes color and it does its thing. The tissue and the Mod Podge, it reincorporates. It's still doable, obviously, but you just need to be a little careful with the tissue because the Mod Podge reincorporates it and makes it soft again. But for some reason, it doesn't do that with the deli paper like the same. But it's interesting. It's the different effects you can get and the different things you can do. Because you can also take this. And like we stamped the, yep, I want to call it a dragonfly. That's what I called it the first time, a peacock. Wow, I'm doing well. You could take the seahorse, I almost said it again, I almost said dragonfly. You could take the seahorse, or any stamp, obviously, whatever stamp you want. And you can find somewhere cool to stamp it. And stamp it. And cut it out and have something cool looking. Like so. Imagine that cut out. It would be all shiny. Isn't that groovy? See? So there's so many things you can do with it. You can die cut it. You could stamp it. And just get interesting things. I mean, we always want something different. You know, it would be interesting to throw this onto one of your sheets, you know. Not obviously this, but you could throw it onto whatever you're making and collaging. These would be cute with a little sea background, like a watercolored sea background or painted background. You could throw that on it or whatever. Same with that. You know, you could do anything. So I hope you'll give it a try and play around with different things. Add Mod Podge and add stamp color and just play. I mean, all that juicy color that's in there, you know. It's just interesting what you can do. And like the paint, this blob of paint that I've got over here, I could stamp on this too and cut it out. It's just pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me what you're going to do. Huh? What you gonna do? So these are cool. These are gonna be a start to one of my little Rolodex bits. Here's another one. I'll do something else with these. Of course, why not? I'm sure we could figure something out. We'll do that in another bit of screw it and do it. And then maybe we'll do something with these too. So I hope you'll give something a try. I'll save your packaging because you can make some really cool shiny, you know, it's like making shiny colorful vellum. It's really cool. And if you do something, please go into the group and post a picture of what you do with your painty and Mod Podge'd papers and such. And let me know what you did with them and what you came up with. Experiment. It's always good to experiment. Experimenting is fun. You know, be like a little kid. A little kid used to, you know, when you were a kid, you used to experiment with anything. You'd go outside and put dirt in this and this and this and this and this. And, you know, you still got to kind of grab onto that. That little kid inside of you that still wants to experiment with stuff. You know, because that's what our crafting stuff, that's what gives us good ideas and comes up with something that's interesting. And even if you don't do anything with it right now, later down the road, you're going to think, oh, I wish I had something like yada, yada, yada. And then you'll think, oh, yeah, this will be perfect. And you can color this and use it for whatever you were going to do. it's stuff like that that helps you come up with different ideas for things. Even if it's not for something right now, you can use it later. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-part little thing about painting and gluing on different substances other than just your typical regular paper and stuff. And yeah, I hope you'll give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and share this video. And definitely don't forget to catch my live streams. I've been kind of all over the place with them lately, but generally we do one every Friday night, except we're not going to be doing one this Friday night, probably because I have a yard sale. I've got a lot going on right now, guys, so just bear with me. I've got yard sales that I'm doing. I'm trying to put my house up for sale, so we've got all kinds of things going on. So if things are a little flippy-floppy, you just got to bear with me, because, you know, real life comes before YouTube, and that's just the way that is. So I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you do what you love and love what you do, and be nice to people. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Love you.